Hello and welcome to the NEH cast. As always, my name's Jono and I'm joined by Joey. How's it going, Joey?
Not too bad, thank you.
So we're into round 4 of the Birmingham Regional now, and we are with Chris Dyer still on the left-hand side, who's playing NEH, and on the right-hand side he's going to face Sam Pay's Valencia.
Yes.
So we have not yet seen, I don't think, Chris Dyer play NEH in this deck, but he's playing a deck that we are very aware of, which is a very asset spammy deck. It's pretty common.
Yep.
Some players playing Valencia, which is a little different.
Yeah, I didn't see his Valencia deck on the day. I didn't actually play his Valencia deck on the day, so I don't know what it's doing.
Well, if it's blackmail spam, that's not going to be particularly useful against NEH.
No.
It'll have blackmail for sure,
But it might be siphon spam.
if it has siphon, that's pretty good. The bad pub, of course, helping against trashing these remotes.
Turn one turtlebacks.
So turn on turtlebacks and install.
This is really weird. It's coming after we just chatted about NEH asset spam for like half an hour, and now it's like, oh, now we're watching it in action. So it's really weird.
So
lovely alt art from the ANR PC as well.
Yes, that's right, the NEH alt that Chris has got, that's right. So, like you say, turn 1 from NEH was install and res, turtlebacks install. So he got his NEH draw from the first one, he got his turtlebacks credit from the second one. And IceHQ, obviously worried about siphon.
Yeah.
Turn 1 medium, not necessarily great, because if he uses it and run 3 times, he might see a bunch of cards, maybe even 1 or 2 agendas, but momentum's kind of gone at that point, you just ice R&D. But it is dangerous. And
so he
already he did trash turtlebacks, already using the bad pub as well, which definitely helps in this matchup.
For sure, yeah, like having a Desperado.
He very much, it's like having Desperado. I mean, there might even be a Desperado. It's not
possible. Yeah.
Desperado in Valencia is not.
It's like having
impossible.
a scrubber then.
Yeah, well, it might be a scrubber. Who knows?
Scrubber Desperado and your bad pub means you're like a super wizard.
Yeah, trash like team sponsorship for free. Okay, so he's going to install that so I could check R&D. I wonder if he tempted to check these remotes. Looks like no. He's got 1 click left.
Chris is too sensible
the liberate. Perhaps so, yeah. So he's going to check one of them. He's going to pick the random one, that one. Nope.
I think they're both. I don't think there was anything worth thrashing there.
Probably right. So he's going to use the Mumba
that one
to
he
res
may
the
have
pad.
trashed, yeah. Like, if he'd just seen the Mumbo, he probably would have trashed it.
I think you do trash a Mumba. It's not particularly expensive anyway, but especially bad pop.
He'd have used it to. He'd have resed it and used it to res the pad anyway.
Yes, that's
trash
true.
It. He might not have done. He thought you weren't going to trash it, but I think you do. For 2 credits with your bad pub.
I mean, it's two recurring credits, right? For 3 credits to trash, so I think it's worth it.
2 credits trash with your bad pub. So
2 with bad pub. Yeah, I think it's worth it. So we've got an install behind a piece of ice. Is this possibly Chris trying to bait out blackmail, or see if he's got one? He's trying to challenge it. As we see a DDoS instead. Still an Astro.
Ooh,
okay.
Wow,
So thinking it's early. Maybe he hasn't got a blackmail. Of course, DDoS is the other option that this deck could easily have. Chris might consider double icing it to mean that it had to be blackmail, and DDoS wasn't enough.
Yeah, I don't think you I wouldn't have expected DDoS though. I expect the blackmail, but I don't expect DDoS.
You don't expect DDoS? I'd expect that in Valencia, but I don't know. Maybe not. I
think it allows you to pressure centrals without having blackmails. I'd expected Faust maybe, and we assume that's a wraparound because he saw a wraparound on top of the deck.
He did see a wraparound on R&D, that's true. So he's going to run and trash the Mumba, but Chris is having to think, which leads me to think that this card in this remote can be rezzed. So it's a Sansan. So he's going to use it for a 2 credit discount before it's trashed. I guess that seems reasonable.
Yeah, especially if he's going to use it this turn, he doesn't think it can be trashed this turn.
Yeah, it's true. He might use it right now. If he top decks already has an agenda. He did fly out the Astro. He might have a second one in hand. He's going to score something, it looks like. If it is an Astro, I'll be happy. Just to
No, unfortunate.
Just to Beal, TM.
He lost the Astro and scored the Beal.
Yeah, that's a shame. Obviously, rather have it the other way around. But he's still got the Sansan online, so if he can draw, maybe he's got DBSs or Senses. If he can draw a second, another Astro, a second agenda.
If this is the wraparound.
Yeah, he's going to check no res. All seeing eye, interesting. Now Valencia does have the bad pub, and also currently not that many resources. But should he float a DDoS, that kind of thing? Removing the bad pub would be relevant if he can, because it would turn off blackmail. So he does check the remote. It is a wraparound. I mean, if it wasn't rezzed, you trash it for 4 with Sansan. So it's going to run HQ. The other thing to worry about here is there any chance we're going to see... as he pulls an NAPD? He thinks about stealing it, but I think you just do.
Yeah, you might as well. Yeah, I think you do. Because you got to go quick. You got to get the agendas where you can.
And it only costs you 3 influence as well.
He's going after anything scoreable.
Yeah. So he can trash for free, of course, but it does purge the data sucker. Yeah, so interesting. So he's already up to 40 lead.
But Sansan.
But there is a rest Sansan. He wasn't able to trash. So if Chris can now draw agendas,
this is what he was after.
So this is it. So just breaking news, and he's going to play All Seeing Eye. So
he lets it go instead of losing his bad.
So yeah, he doesn't use. I think that's the right decision.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And as Chris, I guess you might as well play it. You're not likely to land a tag any other way. You probably denied him just 4 credits. I think there wasn't much left on.
Probably hoped he got rid of the bad pub.
He might.
It's 1 credit.
It might have been 8. Sorry, it might have been 8 credits left. I think.
I think that was just the one.
Might have been just 4 then. Not a lot, that's true.
So this is the right thing to do. Just keep checking the centrals because you just got to see the agendas. He's got 1 card left. It's Archangel.
It's an Archangel, so he can't fire it now. He won't be able to res it in the near future. Yeah. He wouldn't. That's true. So a bit of tough position
it's
here.
It's interesting because Chris has got 1 card in hand, Archangel, which is useless. He's getting 1 credit turn for pad. I think you trust the pad. I think that's what
I think. Yeah, I also think you consider trusting the pad here because he's going to gain the credit. He'll be able to say take 2 and install the Archangel on R&D.
Yeah.
Archangel doesn't do anything much.
And whatever, you can.
But he can install for a draw as well. That's true. So he's basically now trying to draw for agendas. So if either of these is say a DBS or a Sensi, it's going to allow him.
Down there.
Sensi's big.
It's free to res. Yeah.
It's going to let him kind of fire through. I mean, of course, also one of them could be an agenda. It's not very likely, but because he did draw them after click 1.
15 minutes.
So still 15 minutes.
He's a score away from.
Yeah. So any access now could win it. So you feel like Chris has to click that back as priority. So Sam's considering checking a remote back, he'd rather not. Should we think about, is there any risk of an apocalypse at some point? If we see another DDoS?
There's definitely a risk of an apocalypse, yeah.
As Chris, maybe you want to consider installing a second piece of ice just to avoid DDoS into apocalypse?
Yeah, he could apocalypse now. I mean, he's got 1 thing installed and he can get into all the centrals. Chris isn't resing anything, so...
Yeah, if he draws a DDoS or even deja vus for a DDoS. Obviously, apocalypse...
That would be crushing if he apocalypse now.
Because, of most relevance, it would trash the Sansan.
Trash the res Sansan.
Trashing the pad is good as well.
And the res dice.
We don't know what these other 2 cards are, but yeah. So... If he has any way of doing that, I feel like that's a good strategy.
Okay,
just going to hit the Archangel again. Yeah, unlikely to be 2.
Is that a Grimoire?
I think he did throw a Grimoire. So
not a turntable.
Yeah, so that suggests Parasite. I guess we see a Parasite in the bin as well. Maybe that's the reason. If he's got Parasites and Suckers.
Yeah, I mean it does help.
So he's going to res the pad. He's going to play the sweeps for net 4. Seems good. Click that back. That's all good stuff to do.
Seems strong.
He's got a click left. So do you draw? I mean, you're just trying to get the agendas into your hand as fast as possible, right? They're at risk, in theory, because he'll probably run HQ. Although now, Chris is in position for the first time in the game where he can actually res ice.
Yeah. But if they're Archangels, that's useless. He's got no cards installed.
But the 2 install cards are not Archangels. Well, I mean, they could be, but they're not the Archangel we keep seeing. We don't know what they are.
Still, if it's Little Engine,
even if they're wraps,
that's tough.
Little Engine's a tough ask, that's true as 5. So install there. So I have a feeling that install might be an Archangel, which means that it could be little more than DDoS protection. So if there's a DDoS into a medium or something, or an apocalypse, it means he has to get the black.
So now Archangel's actually... See, I would have ran before installing that, because the Archangel was actually useless before then. Oh, it's Little Engine.
Oh, so it's actually Little Engine. Okay, so that's, like you say, that's tough. It's now bankrupted himself. So he does have 5 deck sucker tokens. So with Faust, there's 2 cards, 5 sucker tokens.
He's got an apocalypse in hand.
It's a way of getting 5 credits as well. Yeah.
I think you wait if he's playing Apocalypse, you wait for the Apocalypse now. But
he installed Faust this turn, so we can't do it this turn.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like you bounce off.
He also drew. Yeah, you just wait. So he's considering
spending. No, not for 1 card.
He's considering spending his cards, but actually he can use, as I say, the 5 sucker tokens and 2 cards to get 5 credits. He is poor, so maybe he can get access.
Yeah, I suppose in this a net 4 counters, isn't it?
Yeah.
So net 4 decks like counts and 2 cards with 5 credits and access. Sure.
Yeah, seems good. It's not amazing, but it's
fine.
Decent.
Yeah, it's not as bad as I initially thought it was.
So he's going to trash pad. You might consider trashing both. He only has 1 click left, but he's going to trash a pad. I think that trashing the other one next turn is good because Chris is really up against it now.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need much money to score, but he can't res much more ice, and that's the problem.
He keeps not resing this other thing as well. I wonder what it is.
60 credits. Might be another Sansan.
Could be Jackson or something as well.
It might even be a tailback, he hasn't made another remote since, so...
Yeah,
it's not a Remember Temple.
So you can access Sansan, that would be the one that was just drawn.
Yeah, so he's got Sansan and Archangel.
And Archangel in hand, that's right, because the little engine is the ice that's installed.
Trash the pad.
So, in fact, he's only got 2 cards in hand, so that wasn't a great HQ access. Because he knew that there was Archangel and Sansan.
He didn't know about Sansan.
He saw the Sansan on R&D last turn, so he knew that's what he drew. Yeah.
You're right. That was a useless HQ.
I mean, he got a sucker token. It's not useless. But, yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. So, I think that... it's tough. So, here's the question.
Yep.
Who's winning? I mean, is it Chris? R&D's kind of secure, and if he gets the agendas...
Depends when the agendas come up, yeah, because if an Astro is the next agenda to come up, and Sam can't maintain the R&D lock,
yeah,
then definitely Chris wins.
So Chris opts to res an Archangel during a run on R&D. Hilariously, is behind the little engine, which means that Sam has just gained money that he can use on this trace. So he can... Chris obviously can't boost the trace, having bankrupted himself. So Sam can pay just 5 with the bad particles to beat the trace. It's 5 credits, or it's pick up Faust, which is what he does let happen. He still has 50 minutes once again.
Awkward.
That is awkward, yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard to see who's winning. As I said, I think if...
It's on the knife edge, really. So Chris immediately returns to 50 minutes. I think you have to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because if
you lose games if you forget.
If he gets the 2 credits, yeah, I do. Lots of times.
Yeah, me too.
If he draws the Astro and he's got 2 credits, that's just so strong.
Yeah.
So strong. And and that's how the NEH will win now. Sam can't check R&D every single turn with his current
that's
place.
true. R&D is not locked, but it's very taxing, and Sam, like you say, is going to struggle to get in more than once.
He needs to. If he has Siphon or Apocalypse in his deck, though, that can totally swing it.
What he needs is a David and a DDoS, and then next turn Apocalypse.
Yeah. Not even a DDoS, I think just...
Well, DDoS for HQ, or a blackmail. Some way of making sure it doesn't get rezzed to ruin you.
Yeah. Well, he's also got Faust in hand. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. So he hasn't installed the Faust. He's installed a Wildside instead. We assume the Faust... we finally get a DVS res, so that's what it was. So this will help now, as he's going to have 2 credits to find...
He keeps any 3 for 2 agenda.
Yeah, he does, and indeed scores an Astro. Ooh.
Now...
Because now he can draw.
Now
click 1.
Now Chris is winning. He needs credit though, so he can't draw this turn. But he could score next turn, so he gets 1 credit.
He only needs 1 credit to advance. If it's 3-2.
So he can literally
draw click 1
and draw.
Yeah.
And if any of those are a BL or an Astro...
Assuming the pad doesn't get trashed, and assuming the DBS doesn't get trashed. Either one of those or both would be pretty strong from
if the pad doesn't get trashed, he can still draw click 1.
Yes, he can, of course, yeah.
And if he hits a BL or an Astro, he wins the game.
If the pad is trashed, he has to click for a credit, whether he saw an agenda or not.
Now's the Apocalypse turn. No, he can't. He's got Wildside installed. There's no way you can do it.
Yeah, the fact that he installed Apocalypse Wildside suggests maybe he's not an Apocalypse, or at least he's not. He's decided not to in this game.
Yeah.
I think it would have been strong. He may just not have Apocalypse.
Yeah, and a Count Cypher's no good because he said he can score from 0 credits with his current setup.
Or a Count Cypher's no good because he's got no money.
And if he runs into R&D now, this is not that strong because you see 1 and Chris gets to see 3.
Chris does get to see 3, but on the other hand, you might get the agenda that he was about to draw.
Yeah. If any of the next 3 are agendas, Chris wins, but only the top
Here's the thing.
Can you prevent it?
All the agendas are in R&D.
True.
So you have to run R&D to win. Yeah. Now, I agree, Apocalypse or something like that would be good, but
I suppose there's nothing else to do.
What you want to hear is a David. If he had...
But that only gets you 1 access.
It's true, but it doesn't cost you however many cards to get in. So he's going to trace his way in. So he can pay the... this is breaking news. So he can pay...
That's just helped Chris.
It has, because that wasn't going to help him score.
That wasn't going to help him score.
But it does help Sam. He only needs 1 more access now to win.
So if any of these 2 card agendas or the next card...
Chris has not automatically picked a card, so I'm going to bet there was not a 3-2 agenda. So he's going to pick 1, but I think you still draw.
And then you draw
click 1. Hell, you anonymous tip if you got it. Fast track maybe. So he's going to stall for a draw. Yeah, well, it's a draw, right? And he might have drawn a Sensi or something. He
didn't look at that. He didn't check as if that was an agenda. He was trying to.
No, he took 2 credits.
I think he realised he could win with just 2 clicks.
Perhaps, but maybe he just saw it was an agenda and took 2 credits. If it had been an agenda, he might have thought about it. Maybe. Anyway, so Sam is going to draw up. He is on 5, so do you just draw up and then barrel into R&D? You're only getting 1 access a turn, but
if that's the access, that's an agenda, you win the game.
Yeah. And this is it. It's now basically a coin flip.
He's now scored 7 points worth of agendas. Twice as he scored 15 minutes.
That's true.
So that has been lost.
So so they're both on 5 points, but it's now a coin flip, right? Because
it's not a coin flip because Chris gets 3 cards.
You're right. He does get 3, so it's actually
DBS
better than a coin
and the
flip.
click 1 draw to score the agenda, to see the agenda.
Yeah.
The difference is if it's an NAPD.
So this is the kind of lock now, right? So Sam has to run R&D every turn, and it's going to take his whole turn to do it, which means that if there are no agendas in the top 3 cards, nothing happens.
Yeah.
But if there is an agenda in the top 3 cards, if it's in the top card, Sam wins. Yeah. If it's in the next 2 cards, Chris wins. The other thing
Unless
Chris might
it's
do,
an NAPD.
Sure.
It's an NAPD in the top 2 cards, Chris wins. It's an NAPD in the 3rd card.
Do you install it on Sansan?
And Chris can't win. Yeah, you can install an NAPD on the Sansan advance Astro counter. So
he's got the money now, you're
right. If it's
right.
in the top 2 cards, then Chris will still win. If it's the 3rd card and he's used to click to draw it, then he will not be able to score the NAPD that turn. Yeah. But there's no way Sam's stealing the NAPD.
So he's gonna Faust his way in.
Because he's paying through these traces.
Well, this is it. Now that Chris has money, he can boost the trace to force to set that. Yeah.
So now he has 5 credits.
So he does have NAPD money.
This is
Should
an
it be
NAPD?
NAPD?
Yeah.
It's a Beal.
Oh wow!
So
that's
he
had to do it.
Quite an unlikely ending, yeah. And Chris does, for his own curiosity, have a look to see if there are other genders. And it was.
So Sam has to continuously every turn runs to a little.
That was basically it. So NEH had basically locked Valencia into knowing that he had to do that every turn. He did have Dyer Sucker, so he was kind of gaining efficiency.
Less.
Yeah, but it's not great.
It's still 6 strength to sub.
Yeah, so it's not great. And obviously in that one there, he lost the Faust.
Yeah.
Which meant that next turn he had 5 credits from Little Engine still. He would have had to install the Faust and draw and go. So there was a real kind of like.
Chris would have been kicking himself if that top card was NAPD though, and he would have paid the 5 into it had he not done it.
It was real taxation. Yeah, it was. So really strange. And
Chris, the favourite, the odds, like mathematically, Chris was much more likely to win that game. I mean, even if you just look at it in the most simplest sense, it was 2/3 Chris. But I think it was actually more than that because
Chris
Sam could not have
overdraw. Sam might not be able to. There might be a turn where he can't run.
Yeah,
I mean,
Sam can't run every
turn. If you're
turn,
Chris and you get your mandatory draw, your DBS, and there's no agenda, you click 1 draw, there's no agenda. Do you continue drawing?
You continue drawing.
There's a risk because Sam can hit HQ for free, and maybe he does. So that's risky. Maybe you just want to trust in R&D. Yeah. Obviously,
I think you click for credits because you can put it into the Archangel trace, which then means that Sam can't run every single turn to see his 1 card.
That's
but
true.
You still, even at worst case scenario, 2/3 chance of winning that game for Chris in that situation. Once you got the Astro, so unlucky.
That was a bit of a tussle. That one then it was really tightly balanced by the end, and it looked like NEH was just going to win because Valencia was just like Sam was just running out of answers. He got to a point where he just had to run R&D every turn.
He never really set up his board state. Like he trashed some of the right assets early on. He trashed the pads and he trashed the turtlebacks and stuff, but he never really got to draw his deck or install any of his cards, and that's often what the NEH deck does because it's so fast.
Yeah.
But he managed to get enough accesses to win the game, even though we didn't get to see his deck, or he gets to draw too many of his cards.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting.
So Chris finished fourth then at the Birmingham Regional, the first Birmingham Regional.
He did.
And Sampe would continue to face you.
To face me?
Yes.
You mean I didn't win the
you did not
final?
win. You did not win the winners bracket final. No. So Sam would play you in the losers bracket final for the right to face Alice Reese in the final.
Yeah.
So now you'll be playing Noise.
I'll be playing Noise.
Very unlike you.
His NEH.
Against his NEH, yeah. Okay.
So the top 4 were 4 NEHs. So there was only 4
That's
NEHs
true.
in the top 8.
And
me, Chris, Sam, and Alice, and they were the top 4 in the end. So it's all NEHs.
NEH is good, yeah. And 3 Anox as well. Alice was criminal. Was Leela.
Alice was criminal.
But apart from that, 2 Noise and Valencia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris was Noise, right? Yeah.
No wizard.
No wizard in the top 4, but there were
were
wizard in the cut. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, well, I'd like to remind our viewers that they can find all of our videos at the website, newreadinggrid.co.uk, and they can find us on Twitter and on Facebook. You can also find us on Patreon if you like to support the channel. And if you like the sound of us in your ear rolls, then you should download the Dead Channel podcast as well and get even more of us. Thank you, Joe, for helping me commentate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.